Hi there. My name is Hannah. I'm the host for the Y.A.N.G Podcast. And on this episode, I was hoping to take you through how the podcast came to be so that we can get done with that. So tukiingia kwa the other episodes, we'll be on the same page. So how did the Y.A.N.G Podcast come to be? Initially, this project was supposed to be a duo where I would do the episodes and the shoots and the discussions with another person would be hosting them, but unfortunately we weren't able to align our schedules, and I decided to proceed with the project alone, and I'll explain why I proceeded with the project alone. So how did the name come to be, Y.A.N.G Podcast? Initially, this podcast, I had thought about starting. I do have another podcast, but I had thought about having a podcast that would discuss a specific type of topic, and that one was about kids that were orphaned, young, and now they're adults, and the things they've been going through, and how they've been able to overcome um, that type of trauma. Though at the end of the day, we realized we never really overcame it, we just learned to live with it. So initially it was supposed to be that type of discussion with a friend who share that type of trauma and past, but I thought it would be limiting, because that was only one part of our lives. Like, we are orphans, yes, but we also have other different we are also other different beings. We're not just orphans. We've become successful people, we've become career people, we've become mothers, we've become all those things. Like, we're not just orphans. So my thoughts changed from having that type of limiting podcast to now having a podcast where I would be discussing relationship issues, because I haven't been successful in that part of my life, and the different things that we've been exposed to by the people that we considered being in a relationship with. And hiyo tena nikaona itakuwa limiting, no, but not that much limiting. The challenge was I don't have such a diverse, what can I call it, a diverse dating background. I've only dated, I think, around two people seriously, then had flings here and there, but they didn't amount to anything that would be able to be a long lasting project. And already, like I mentioned, I have another podcast that I normally discuss such things. So I was like, this is a new project. This is something that I want to stand on its own 2 feet and claim its podcasting space. Now, after thinking about that, I thought maybe I could get a friend to do a podcast with me that dealt with the different facets of life. And I posted on my WhatsApp status and I said, um, anyone who is interested in doing a podcast with me, reach out, then we can organize how to go about that. And fortunately, someone did reach out, and we discussed how we were going to go about bringing the podcast to life. However, before I even get to that, there were different names that I wanted to name the podcast. Initially, when it was to discuss orphan issues and things of that sort, sorry, it was supposed to be Orphan Black. I love the movie Orphan Black, and the series watch, I think, back and forth several times, up and down. So I thought it would have been a cute name for that, Orphan Black. But then, like I said, that project didn't work out. So for this next one, yeah, love and relationships, I wanted to call it a bonfire session, because I have this friend who we work with, and normally we can discuss into depth what we are going through in our different relationships. And the reason relationship was such a hot topic is because, like I said, I've not been successful in getting a permanent or settling down with someone. And this other friend was also in the same category. So whenever we would meet, we would say things like, we'd want to share we want so much to share what we were going through, but took a job, so we can't sit down and start discussing these things. So we'd mention things here and there, and sighs here and there, and maybe laugh at weird things that we had gone through over the weekend and things of that sort. And normally she would just say, I'll light for you that bonfire there, and we'll sit down with a cup of coffee and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the relationship. So I thought that bonfire sessions would have been an awesome name for that podcast. So even when I was going now to meet this friend who reached out on WhatsApp saying she was ready to do a podcast,